And we are live. Hey, everybody. Jeff, Jeff VW here, VW Bricks. We got Julian and newcomer Tim. And we have taken over Old GrEH Bricks for the weekend, or for the week, for the day, for the Thursday. And we're Old GrEH Bricks because, hey, I'm Canadian. Deal with it.
There it is.
So, anyway, so hopefully some more people will join in as we go. Yeah, he's right there, too.
I just realized you did that
Oh,
to
you
the
did?
icon up there too.
Yeah, I'm not as good of a graphic artist as Mark is. In fact, I'm a horrible graphic artist, and I tried to make it look right. The up close looks much worse. Let me tell you. Like, if you really want to stream in on the E.
No, don't do it.
Yeah. So
Those Canadians.
But I wanted to, and that's the actual T-shirt logo too. That's this. No, that's not even this logo. That's a sticker logo. I had to grab it off the web because I couldn't find a copy of it. But
Nice.
But anyways,
I'm glad to see you. Listen, if I were to do this, I'd put my icon up there.
well, I'm just having fun with it, right?
Absolutely.
And we actually have no watchers right now, so it's just the three of us. So we'll just continue chatting until someone joins.
Love it.
So, but yeah, Tim and Julian met at Brick Rodeo. And I saw Julian, you had a video for Tim's stuff as well, right?
Sure do, man.
Was that the big mountainscape, I believe?
Yeah, the Old West.
Yeah, okay. Oh, hey, we do have someone else joining in. Speaking of Brick Rodeo.
Hey, it's Rick Smith.
Wait, Cowboy Jeff? No.
Wait a minute.
Anyways.
See what we did there.
And I was gonna say, oh look, we have someone on chat. No, we don't.
No, man, fail again. That's me.
Green Brick Smith. So Tim, if you want to participate in the chat, you need to actually open up a YouTube link, but you have to mute yourself. That's the trick. So
no, you have to mute your phone or pause it.
Or in Chrome, if you're using a computer in Chrome, you can actually right click on the tab in Chrome and choose to mute it. And it won't play the sound from that site until you unmute it. So anyway.
So I need to start opening this up in Chrome, huh?
Well, not this link, but like the YouTube. You'd actually have to go to the YouTube page, like to the YouTube video that's going on right now that we're broadcasting to.
Oh,
okay. For today, we can show you how to do it later. But
I tell you what, now, Jeff. Jeff. The longer you're home, the better you're looking, man. I don't mean that like no,
he's more alive. He's more alive.
The recovery, yeah. Recovery of the trip and such.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I only had to drive 20 minutes, and I've been tired all week. So.
Oh well, that's. So they didn't give you a chair though, did they?
Huh?
They didn't give you a chair, did they?
Oh, I had one back behind. I had to sit down. The nerves in my leg are finally starting to come back to life, and it hurts. So I have to sit down every once in a while.
Did any of you guys get sick after you were there? Like coming home, did you get any flus or anything? Any colds?
Yeah, I got con crud.
Con crud, yeah.
Yeah.
I got a stuffy nose, but it wasn't like, oh, I'm dying. My feet are still swollen.
Yeah, that can't be good.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody can do anything about it.
Yeah, cons are fun, but the week after is always a little crazy. We used to have in Toronto. We used to have our event called Brick Fete, and like on the Monday after, we would always say we were having Fete drop, which is you're sad that it's done with. You're also exhausted, tired, not feeling well, but you want the convention to continue on because you were having so much fun, and now it's like, oh, real life. Okay.
So, I was good with it being over, to tell you the truth. So
yeah,
there really wasn't like man, I wish this was going on still. It was, man, I'm really tired. It's only Friday. I have 2 more days of this. What the hell?
I can tell you though, and I told Jeff this already. Just Jeff. I told just Jeff.
Call me VW.
I did something. Huh?
I said, call me VW. It's just easier.
Yeah, I did something with just Jeff that I haven't done at any other convention. Anyway, Normally at the conventions, I don't leave, but for food.
Oh yeah, okay.
We went and we did the what I've dubbed it laser tag. It's not laser tag. It's a whole lot more. It's the VR interactive thing. I had more fun doing that. Like that was the first outside event that I've ever done, and it was the most fun.
Yeah, we went to Zero Latency in Houston, and we, Joey Phoenix found out we were just randomly doing something. He was like, "Whoa, check this out!" And I was like, "What's that?" And he said this, and I said, "We're going."
And the rest of them was like, "Yes, we are."
And, yeah, it was a really good time. You don't really realize how fat you are until you have to do strenuous activity. And we all realized, except Moto, that we're all really out of shape. Maybe Don. Don was good.
Don did all right. They both broke into a light sweat.
Yes.
No, they were perspiring. They weren't even sweating.
Meanwhile, Julian and I are sweating buckets, and it's like, oh, what fresh hell is this?
Right. Literally, it was the sweat that got in your eyes, and I'm like, ah!
It was stingy because, sweat.
Yeah. Next time, Tim, if we make it to Texas, you got to go with us.
Sounds like a plan.
I love it.
I'll be like you guys. My son and I just finally carried all my stuff upstairs, and I was breathing hard. I mean, he's like, "You need to do some cardio, Dad." And I'm like, "Man, no, it's something else going on. It isn't cardio." It hurt.
Have you guys seen All Bricks counts on any of your streams?
I haven't.
Okay, he's a fellow Canadian. He's a fellow Canadian. He joined us. Kind of joined into our group. He hasn't actually been live with us yet. We're actually hosting tonight. Old GrEH Bricks, which is a show out of Georgia. That's usually run by Fazoom and Flea Mark and some of the others. And they're all on vacation this week, so we're doing a courtesy stream. I don't know, a guest streaming appearance.
Yeah.
But I don't think anybody knows that we're actually doing it from his channel because no one publicized it because there was no stream on Monday either. Well, I mean, there was. Jeff and I had chatted for a while on Monday, but that was on Jeff's stream.
Yeah, I'm chopped liver, so whatever.
Were you there, Julian? On Monday? I thought it was just me and Jeff for a while.
No.
Now I'm losing it. Okay.
I was there.
My apologies. Oh yeah, that's right. You were in the same room. Okay, that's so fair. I was like, but I only saw 2 windows. Yeah, okay. He was kind of sitting right where that rack is behind Jeff right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. My bad. Sorry. I forgot.
It's okay. I just subscribed to All Bricks account.
Cool.
So there.
Awesome. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. I was watching some of his videos this morning. So, but yeah. We don't really have any topics for tonight. I figured we'd just do a chat just because, again, not really my stream, but and coincidentally, other than, well, I guess we got 3 people that are usually in that stream on, so it's not bad.
Not bad at all.
But I was hoping some of the others would show up too. But you know what? Maybe I'll drop the link quickly to the Canadian stream too.
Also, I just just because I can, I shared it on my community group.
Cool.
My post, whatever.
Yeah, sounds good. And I'll
there goes
pass
Jeff.
the link. So give me a few moment here, and
yeah, and we talk.
Since none of the others are usually here. Whoops.
So Tim, this is the castle that didn't make it.
Yeah, I saw some pictures. I was watching some of your other videos and stuff.
Well, don't do that. And that shit's just garbage. Oh, sorry, Chris. We're not allowed to curse here. Yeah.
Well, it's technically not Christmas.
Oh, that's
Day,
right.
So.
We're not actually where we. Jeff got plates. Jeff got plates.
I'm trying to think of what pink building I could build to add to my Wild West layout. So I'm going to work on something.
Did you say whorehouse?
I sure did.
Well, the color scheme would be right. No, I'm thinking more the livery stable or something like that. I don't know. I've got to think of something. And I want to get a pink building in the way, the old west there somehow. So
Seth,
Oh, hey,
what's
Seth.
up, buddy?
There we go. Now we're getting
What
some.
up, Seth?
Thank you for publishing that, Julian.
Hey,
Because I'm assuming
My
Seth
pleasure.
came in through you, because I don't know that he's been on many of my chats. So
he's been on a ton of
That's,
Chris's.
yeah, for sure. I have seen him there. So,
So I got good news and I got bad news since we don't have a topic.
what's the good news? Wait, what's the
Good
bad news?
news is, huh?
Yeah, okay. I said, what's the good news? What's the bad news? I don't know.
The good news is I've got
Sorry. You've got
no, I think dyslexia. Sorry.
You thought it said bricks.
I thought it said Bricksmith because of the dyslexia. I apologize. So I've got this section of my Lego room back. It's a 3-foot section by about a 3-foot section. And it's all open. Well, I got stuff there now. Here, let me just show you guys. So this is my table. I got this section, right?
Yeah.
And I got this section.
Hey, you cleaned it up.
Yeah, and then we got this section. Look at there, Jeff.
Never mind.
The computer is gone.
Uh-huh.
So Brittany went back to work, and that is the bad news.
Oh, you got more room?
Yeah, I got more room.
All right. We've had David join us from
Hey, David.
Hey guys.
Quebec. Daz Who on most of his channels.
What'd you say?
Daz Who,
Right.
right there in his name. See.
Yeah, it dates back to the old fbtb.net forums.
Nice.
From bricks to bathrooms.
You say he's Canadian, but is he French Canadian?
He's French.
Yes, I
Canadian.
am.
Ah, I almost couldn't tell.
Yeah, his English is fairly good, but you can still catch the accent.
Yeah.
Not the Canadian A accent or a boot accent, as you guys like to laugh, but the French Canadian accent.
Non, mon accent canadien français, oui.
I don't know what he said.
I don't either. You said it too quick. No.
So I can say pretty much anything in French and you guys won't know.
Well, I know the swear words.
I need to bring my son in. He's learning French in high school, so he can translate.
There you go.
Yeah, French is it's such a quick, fast-spoken language sometimes that you got to really be. For me, I have to really be paying attention to catch what's being said.
And it's especially in Quebec. It's not. We don't speak French like the French do. We speak a very, very hard and hard to understand, and with various expression that you don't see in France. So
yeah, it's like a different dialect, right?
So you guys do it the right way, like a good North American. Yeah.
Jeff's tried to, or why has almost said it twice now, and I'm starting to worry.
I'm like half paying attention to what's happening right now, and suddenly there was a French Canadian, and I went, "Oh, is he mad?"
Not all French Canadians
That's my
are
first
equal.
instinct, and I thought maybe I shouldn't say that out loud, and then I thought, "What the hell? What's he gonna do?"
Yeah, but not all French Canadians are actually. I don't know any French Canadians who are evil a-holes, for lack of a better word. Thank God Chris isn't watching.
Jeff? Is there
Well, I just choose not to. I totally would.
See, that's the
I don't see
difference.
Chris here.
That's
Say whatever
the, that's
fuck
the
I want.
difference.
Whoop-a-doo.
We're North Americans. The French are typically Europeans, so we get the North American way of life, but with a different language.
David, do you have a YouTube channel, correct?
No, I don't. Well, I have a YouTube channel, but I don't post often on it.
Okay. Instagram?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm old style. I'm mostly on Facebook. I have a Flickr channel, but I don't use it anymore.
What's your are you a Lego? Do you post Lego on your Facebook or just to have a Facebook?
No, I usually when I build something, I either post it on different Facebook groups that are specialized in classic space because that's my forte, or I mostly post on our lug Facebook. So
Yeah. Speaking of classic space, and Jeff, Jeff and Tim can attest to this. I saw a Star Wars Ghost in classic space colors in Houston. It was awesome.
A Star
really,
Wars
How
Ghost
about
Station.
Jeff?
that must have been awesome.
Yeah.
It was part of the big. I think that was part of that lug's space display, or that guy's just really well off.
It
But he
was
had like 5 monorails and like a whole bunch of stuff going on every parcel of ground that he had. And
He's
like,
actually a high school teacher, and he has been buying that stuff for years. And he gets, as a high school teacher, a lot of his kids will bring him stuff sometimes. So
Damn, I missed my calling.
he's
that's an
acquired-
awesome racket.
I mean, he's like the rest of us. You don't want to know how much you've spent, but he's acquired a lot of it various ways, and especially the monorail stuff. We had a member in the group and that passed away a few years ago, and he had a bunch of monorail, and I think Jeff got quite a bit out of that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'll be honest. I've acquired what little I have. I had to buy one set that I paid quite a little bit for, but I've managed to pick up a little bit more and a couple of bulk buy things. But I don't have a lot, and I don't even know if the motors I have work. I need to figure it out one of these days. But he just buys it up little by little, and that display has been around since before I joined the group.
Since classic space.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Well, some of his sets are his original classic space.
Wow.
So does he build Lego sets in classic space colors then, type thing? Like, does he?
He does a lot of the Star Wars. I mean, he comes up with some fantastic stuff, but he takes some of the Star Wars ships and turns them into classic. And that Ghost was one of them. He just did that, I think, not during the lockdown thing. So that's a relatively new.
Just Jeff.
what? Oh, hey, there it is. Are you gonna send me that or?
Yeah. Let me get everything else together.
Oh,
Shall I add this? I shall add this.
there it is. Oh,
See, that's my latest display in 2019. We did the Bricomanie.
Nice.
What you see there is I own half of that actually. Half of that is mine. If
He
you
owns
see
the
it
top half.
right here, where the brick monorail starts, the whole half here is mine.
Nice.
It's awesome.
I like the big blue space rocket ship there.
The space shuttle, yeah.
Yeah, the shuttle. Sorry, I'm not space. Sorry.
Yeah, it's actually made. It resembled the space shuttle because I actually took the space shuttle specs and pretty much
Can you zoom?
ran with it, and it landed a good result. I think I still need to work on the booster rocket and the because there's some booster rockets that you don't see that are attached to it on its belly, but it's a wow factor. Every time I take it out, it steals the show. But that brick monorail was made actually by Marc-André Caron, who's used to have a YouTube channel under Monsieur Caron. He's the one who did the Ghostbuster spoof, and he also did the Simpsons spoof with the couch.
Oh, like all the animated, like the Lego animated.
How low is
Stop-
that
you know,
table?
it's-
I'm hate to interrupt, but I'm going to do it anyway. How low is your table there?
How big was the table?
How low?
Hello, it was about. I think it was 3 feet high. So,
Okay. And do that with the castle.
Yeah,
because it was actually put on stages. So
Yeah.
it was about. I think it was 2.5 or 3 feet high.
Cool.
Yeah, one year we did a castle layout completely on the floor, and kids
What up,
absolutely
Juan?
loved it because they could see right into it. So, exactly, that's how much they loved it.
Sorry, that was my
worry.
son screaming
Oh, that
out
was-
his lungs.
No,
Don't know why.
Well, Well, obviously he was happy about something. Did he just find your hidden stash of Lego sets?
No, I think he just came out because I was talking too loud, and he's with his brother right now.
So that was the display at Brick Rodeo.
Okay.
Wow.
And the ghost is on the far.
Yeah, I'm looking, Julian, to see if he got any pictures of it. Give me a. I'll scroll through some of these. And
I
see
ain't
that.
getting no pictures.
Well, we're just gonna leave it up while you scroll because they're fun to look at. Assuming that they're all safe to look at.
Well, this is Phoenix's Google Drive, so I hope so.
Oh God.
Wow, that spaceship was
Yeah,
cool.
Star Wars, whatever.
That was
Was that Star Wars?
That was
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Oh, I didn't realize that part.
Yeah, Corey builds it. He's just the last thing he built was something probably about that big, but it was 7 feet tall. It was more of it's just a round structure, but it was just about like that as far as detail and over the top.
Yeah. Oh, hold on, we got a baby sighting. Baby sighting. Baby sighting. Baby sighting.
Oh hi. Hi everybody.
We saw the baby. We had to go to it.
It's a pretty girl.
All right, so I didn't find it, but I'll look through again this time. Without.
I want to say it's in the video, but we're not watching that here.
Why?
Because I don't remember how long it was.
Oh. Okay.
You trying to find the ghost?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can. I didn't specifically take a picture of it, but I took quite a few. So
Why don't you just text the guy who's in the building?
I'll pull up Abner's Facebook too. I know he sometimes, he records everything pretty much, so I'll pull that up.
He also adjusts your mocks when you think you're not looking.
Yeah, does he?
Yep.
Were you not happy with Abner?
I was very pissed off, and I let him know.
What happened? And where was that? Well, you know me.
Abner was adjusting my mock to get a better picture of it.
No.
And I was like, hey, Abner, did you build that? And he was like, no. And I was like, don't fucking touch it. I curse a lot. I'm sorry.
It's like,
Awkward.
I don't think
he's a good guy. I mean, he's been in the community for years. Oh, we got another one coming here. What's this?
I mean, it wouldn't be so bad if he portrays himself as a guy that works for Lego. And he worked at a store seasonally part-time for a year.
Yeah. He collects. He's a huge collector of sets, though.
Yeah.
So. I'm just trying to see if he's got anything specifically space themed here.
You want to know who a solid dude was that we met there?
Who?
Brandon.
Brandon whom?
Steve Jackson's nephew.
Oh, okay.
Dude is
You just wanted
solid
to
as a
name drop.
rock. Huh?
You just wanted to name drop.
No, I'm not talking about Steve. Steve's cool people. I was like having a conversation before I even knew who it was. But Steve is he's cool, but I didn't even know him.
Yeah.
I'm like hanging out and talking with Steve and whatever.
We
Is
have
everybody looking up pictures right now?
Dave is for sure, but
I know Tim is.
We have a Canadian artist, Greg Highland. He does a lot of the sketches and stuff. He used to do sketches for Lego. I don't know if he still does. And he actually sketched a card series for Steve Jackson's Munchkin, for one of his Munchkin.
Yeah, and I think Fazoom and Fleebnork are in it.
Yeah.
They have the actual cards. Yeah. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is. Definitely awesome. Do you want me to share this, Dave? Not yet? Okay. Dave's like he had a screen share, and I just see him whipping through Brick Rodeo related pictures. Was this the first year for Brick Rodeo?
Tim, go ahead. You've been around the block. Tell him what happened.
Yes, it used to be Brick Fiesta.
Yeah.
And for last year was the 10th anniversary of Brick Fiesta, and it came to Houston, but then when everything got locked down, we ended up doing a virtual convention.
Yeah.
And there's always been some issues because Brick Fiesta travels between Austin
Yeah.
Houston, San Antonio, and Dallas.
Okay.
And every year, everything changed. I mean, there has to be co-hosts in every city, and every year there was a big to-do about getting it all set up and all of that. And so I don't know all the behind-the-scenes stuff, but when everything came down this year, it was Brick Rodeo. And so that's where we are moving forward. And my understanding is right now it's just going to go between Houston and Austin.
Okay.
Because Dallas and San Antonio, it was always kind of a losing money thing with those two cities. So so that's where that's at. We'll see how it goes in the future. I mean, this one was really so successful. I mean, it was just amazing.
It was banging. I can't
quality of builds and just it was nice. I mean, it was a lot of the same people that have been around for years, but they just, I guess, having that downtime. I mean, it was
So
nice.
Tim, could it have been, I don't know, maybe some of the newcomers and Lego Masters maybe helping
I think so. There was this guy that wears his bucket on his head that just kind of stole the show. He might have been a part of it. You know,
it would have been worse if it was a pink bucket, though. I tell you, if it was a pink bucket, it would have been horrible.
What's up, Brick Bunnies? It's good to see you guys.
Yeah, Brick Bunnies.
Some Canadians. Also, if you're here via the whatever, give Van Wyndham a subscribe. Check out his videos later, but let's do it. Let's get him to a gajillion.
Get him to a gajillion. I'd be happy to just pass 100. I'm at like 80 something right now.
Well, let me tell you something. Hey, I've been in the game a while. For you to be at only 80 subscribers, your view count for your live streams is very good.
Yeah.
Hey,
well, I mean, I do other videos too.
Calling me, I need to step out. Do I need to leave the studio or just step out or what?
Mute your phone or mute your computer and turn off your
camera.
There you go. We'll get you Nikon later.
So yeah, Brick Bunnies is one of our Canadian lives near me. So he's someone who's been in my Lego group for years. Him and his wife. And Jed Star has popped in as well. He's also near me. Probably close. He's actually nearer to Dave than he is to me. He's up in Ottawa. But good friends that have supported our events and shows through the years for sure. So it's good to see them pop in. But
I like the Canadian connection. I didn't used to have the Canadian connection.
It's fun.
I used to roll with the Aussies. Now I'm here with the Canadians. I love it.
Well, we like you, so that
good
helps
job,
too.
Jeff.
You're a lovable guy.
I mean, I'll try.
All Bricks Count is in Toronto.
Nice.
Or Toronto, as some people say it, but not
Toronto way.
Toronto.
Over here in Quebec, you said Toronto.
There you go.
I got it.
I mean, other parts of Ontario or other parts of Canada probably say, the guys who think they're the center of the universe.
Hey.
But we all know that's Oklahoma. Just keep it involved. What are you building anyhow, Jeff?
At least Jeff is listening.
He is. I'm just curious what he's building. I see road plates, and I see fingers.
So it's kind of a joke, but I'll move the camera. Whoa. That didn't help at all.
Why do you keep swapping us out? Do that afterwards.
All right, so everybody has a custom Lego city.
Custom Lego City.
Custom. So I am putting together a strictly Lego set city.
Okay.
I have a whole bunch of sets. I don't do anything with them. They collect dust. And I have a whole bunch of city sets. So I was like, it'd be funny if I gave the finger to everybody that does a city and calls it custom, but really it's like, here's all the modulars. Look how much money I spent. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm going to do something different. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm laying down the green base plate so that I have a bit more stability and a bit more control with what I'm doing. And that way my brain can work better. And so far, the brain part isn't happening, but yeah. So that's what I'm doing.
Looks good, Jeff.
Are you going to take
Thanks,
that with
buddy.
you to shows?
What was that?
Will you take that with you to shows?
No, this is also a test for what my buddy Don and I are going to be doing. You can find out who Don is on Julian's channel.
I did a video on Don.
And we're trying to do something big, and we're both like on different scale of building. Like he's really good at micro scale. Like his mech's got a goddamn award from Moto after all.
They did.
That's pretty high praise.
Yeah.
So, and minifigures are us. That's what Jeff does. Like, so we're going to be building a cyberpunk city, and I wanted to see if I could use the road plates in it because I got rid of all my old road plates because I needed money, and I was like, I'm just going to sell this for $200. So I did, and I'm going to see if we can incorporate new road plates on base plates, on more plates to get a better city infrastructure and go from there. So far, it's been incredibly frustrating.
Yeah.
So it's a good test, Jeff.
Yeah.
So, since it's frustrating, it must be a good test.
It's great. It's just I've never done anything like this before in my Lego building experience, right? Like I've always just been like cram these base plates together, make a road with my base plates, and like I'm done. But with this, it's like a more organized situation going on. So like you take this section of land here, and it's barren, but you could slide the townhouse in.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and you want to get fancy about it, and you say the beach is over here. So we slide the beach out behind the Lego store and have a beach house there. So I'm just trying to do that without causing too much stress and without having to spend money.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think I can, so I want to give it a shot. I've got to extend this thing out. I've got to put a back wall on the Lego building here. The house needs to be a bit bigger for my liking. But besides that, that's what I'm doing.
I love it, Jeff. I think it's going to be a great. I'm going to sit here.
Okay.
You're a fan of the new road plate?
So I was not for the longest time. I was one of the most vocal people that was like, "Off my lawn, I hate them." And then I got one in this set. And I went, oh. So using my big brain, trying to figure out how to get curves in the road, like how
That's
to
the
turn.
problem.
That's
Yeah.
like the problem that I'm coming up with. But besides
The
that,
best you can do is a T, basically.
I like them.
Do you guys Lego will come up with anything to make curves out of this system, or you're just gonna give us straight roads?
I think with last year's city set, what they did with the how they made that whole town system, they made a whole town. If you got all of the town sets and you mash them together, you got yourself a pre-made Lego town, and then you stick roads in between it. You got a schmata. I think they did a great job with that idea because typically they don't do that. So with this, I'm just hoping that I can perpetuate and fulfill a part of me that has always wanted a Lego city, and I can do that now, or try to. So,
Jeff from Ottawa is asking if it's going to be movable, and we already kind of went there that he's not going to bring it for a show or anything at the moment.
So here's the thing, like, I don't like going to shows with like sets.
Yeah.
Like if I go to a show and I'm like, hey, I brought this set on display, it's got to be a historical reason. Somebody needed the Caribbean Clipper for their part of their show, and I was like, yeah, sure. or like, they needed some Space Police 1 or 2 stuff, and I was like, yeah, I got those here. I'll put them in there for you.
Yeah, exactly.
But this to me isn't a mock. This is a modification of existing sets.
It's a combining of sets, really. I mean,
yeah, gang, I gotta head out.
All right.
It was great having y'all.
All right.
Bye,
Thanks for
Julian.
coming out, Julian.
Thanks, Julian.
See ya.
Yeah. Viva la France.
Ninja joined our chat a few minutes ago, and he's saying that no, the road plates aren't that bad for limited space displays. And I mean, the road plates kind of work into the mill standard as well.
Yeah.
That they've created. In that, I mean, I'm not sure if I don't think it's the exact width, but I mean, adding a few more tiles on the side is a quick way to get some road plates down and built, like using bigger pieces, right?
If you do it smart, you can, yeah.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
I'm not ready to take that exploration yet, so
No.
yeah.
But I would just say that it might make it easier for some people because I mean, Mills plates are huge. Tim, do you know what the Mills plates are?
I'm kind of learning. I had to do some of it for the train group, the TBRR. They're going to all of that. Okay, so you basically got your base plate, and then you build up 2 bricks. Is it?
Yeah, 2 bricks and a tile. I believe that's what it is. Now this is pre-Mills. This is the layout we've had for our shows for many years, and it predates the Mills standard. But I believe it is actually still the Mills standard. So in this one, it's 5 studs on the side for the sidewalks. Or at least that's the way I built it. But I built it that way because those are the big 8x16 tiles.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I have enough room to do striping on the side as well as using those tiles. So that's the only way I could do this to save space, to save brick, basically, right? By using those larger pieces to fill in the blanks. So, but
Well, I need to start incorporating that a little more with just because just using the base plates and stuff, they're still so flimsy and stuff as far as, because I foresee taking that Western. I'm going to get that Western build to where I can haul it anywhere I want to take it, because I really want to branch out from just Lego conventions. But there's a lot of Old West conventions, like in Tombstone. They have Wyatt Earp days, and I'd like to maybe try to do some of that stuff, because I think they'll pay me to bring it.
yeah, it's possible. Yeah, that's something we don't really get in Canada. We don't usually get monetary funds for doing a show.
We don't. I mean, as far as Lego conventions, but I do know, like the Train Group, they get stipends and stuff for some of these things they do. So
yeah, and I know there's like in the States we know a few people that have done museum shows, like where they put their train layout in a museum and they're making money out of it. Like the museum is paying them to display that, and that's just something that we don't get. So
we actually have a show here in Quebec at the Canadian Railway Museum that pays for us to be there. It's like a weekend where they get all these train layouts, and we actually have a train layout, but in Lego, and we get paid to do this. But it's an insignificant amount of money.
Yeah.
It just pays for the expenses for the weekend, actually.
Yeah. But not for like hotels or anything like that. I mean,
nope.
Like it's you might get a dinner out of it, right? Like something like that. So I mean, we've done a few shows like that. Like we had a hobby show here years ago, and we would get maybe $50, $100 out of the weekend, and we just go and have dinner with the group of us, right? And just like, oh, they bought us dinner. That's cool, right? Yeah. But yeah, it's rare out here, and I know like I know out in California we have a group of friends, the Michons. I haven't seen them for years, but it's a family of 4, and they have a huge Lego city, and I know that they've had museum, like they've had displays in museums, and they leave it up for a month or 2. They come in every once in a while and check it, but they were actually being paid by the museum to have their stuff there, because it brings people in, so it makes sense, right? But
well, that's what I'm kind of hoping to tap into a little bit. So, but we'll see. I mean,
But yeah, Tim, if you're planning on taking your display on the road, Mills is the way to go, because if you take it out of the box with just the base plate, you're gonna wreck your.
Hey Tim, What about the Old West Museum up here in OKC?
I'm going to check with them. My daughter lives up in Bartlesville, and there's Woolarock up there, and I've tried to work with them. I sell those the buffalo I have on there. I made kits out of, and so yeah, and next week I'm going up to Kansas to do some stuff for my mom, and there's Fort Larned and Fort Hayes, and they have museums and stuff, and I'm going to go take some pictures, but I'm also going to visit with them because that's the thing. I mean, I'd like to either build a replica of their forts that they'll buy, for a permanent display, or let me bring up mine. And for now, going that far, it'd just be a weekend thing. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of places up there in Oklahoma that I'm probably going to check into. So yeah, I got to do something. I'm too old and worn out to do a real job, so I got to figure out how to make it easy. And my artwork is kind of hit and miss. So,
well, and I mean, you're tapping into something like in your area of the States. You probably do have a lot of Western type themed things around there. I would assume.
I think so, and I can branch out further away too.
But I mean, yeah, it does allow you to there is probably a market for something like that in your area. So, makes sense.
I hope so. We're going to find out here real soon.
So,
go
ahead.
No, I was just going to say I probably better sign off here. I got to go do a couple of things, but if you had a question.
Oh, I was just going to say the other good thing about Mills is that when you do go to another show, you can plug your stuff into other people if everybody's using the Mills system. So, I mean, it does I can bring my train show to Quebec and basically take the end of take my curves off of the end and just plug into whoever else is there and just make a bigger layout overall. So,
well, I know that's why TBRR, they've been building all their stuff because they do a lot of collaborative builds with Penlug, and especially at Chicago, because they haul that up to Chicago pretty much every year. Tony Sava, he rents a trailer and hauls it. In fact, I'm hoping maybe to work out something with him. I can haul my Western up there too and go. So
I personally changed to Mills too for my space display because it was really that much simpler to move around.
Mm-hmm. Well,
you take it out of the box when you have a mill. It's like you're holding a 2x.
It's strong.
It's strong. So you can lift it up from the box and nothing breaks, and you just put it on the display, and you can build on your mills, and nothing's gonna fall, and everything's gonna stay in place. So yeah, that definitely. If you're planning on doing shows or taking your display on the road, that definitely I would recommend doing.
It's held up pretty good. I mean, I've taken it. I mean, I've had it all around the state here, and then I took it up to Oklahoma. There's a Brick Universe convention, and I've done that a couple of times. I love those guys. So I wish they were. I don't think they're going to be I think they'll be in Oklahoma City again this year, right?
March.
Well, I might have to think about that one because I don't think they'll go back to Tulsa. That last show at Tulsa was it was a labor of love for them, but the attendance was really bad. So
yeah, that
kind of sucks because my daughter's there. I can stay with them, and I don't have to get a hotel and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Do you know what weekend in March, Jeff?
Huh?
Do you know what weekend in March?
Not yet. I will though.
Okay.
I know
Just
that I'm displaying.
You know that you're what displaying?
Yeah, my blog was like, hey, let's do a totally original thing, like a pirate setup, and I was like, oh, okay. So, and then I said, can I do Sky Pirates? And they said yes, and I said, okay, now I'm locked in again.
No, just because I know Bricks Cascade is happening in March next year as well, so that's important. So
yeah, I know. That's the other thing too, is that I have a choice to make when it comes to those two things, because I'd like to go to Bricks Cascade, but we'll see what the money fairy says.
Well, yeah, and I mean you kind of have to support your local shows as well, right? Like in general, to an extent. I mean, it's not really a local stroke because it does rove around the country, but
Hey, all I know is I only have 6.5 hours to drive next year rather than 8. So.
Oh, because it's
Because it's going to Austin.
Austin. There you go.
All right. Well, it's been a real pleasure meeting with y'all, and I hope to see you again. So,
All right, later, Tim.
Yeah, thanks for coming
Here,
in.
Jim.
See you, bud.
let me join in. Y'all have a great rest of the week or weekend now.
Almost a weekend.
Yeah, almost. One more day.
Almost.
Let's see if you can figure it. There he goes. Yeah. That was Tim's first chat with us. So, but yeah. And then Jeff walks away. He's just getting bricked, so I can tell. I think his brick room is that way.
Yeah, probably.
That way. Yeah, that way. So. Cool. I love it that we do this as a community. It's like if it's like, oh, it's someone new I haven't met before. I'm subbing to them, right? So that I can,
I'm like digging at the bottom of my pile.
Oh, for base plates?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one thing I don't like with the Mills plate style is that they start with a base plate underneath, so you're not really saving anything. You're just adding more bricks onto a base plate, right?
Yeah.
But
the mill system is not an affordable system. You have to invest in it.
No, it's very very pricey for sure.
Yeah, because you have to put all those bricks on top of a base plate, and then you have to put plates on top of those bricks because you need to make it look like a base plate or
yeah. But I mean, at the same time, it does look so much nicer when it's done, right? And custom roads, you can do what you want, right?
Yeah,
it's up to you how much detail you want in the road and stuff like that. So, Axle Plate's just saying something here. Do you have Lego contacts outside of Canada or North America? What do you know about French, German, British communities? How about Asia? So, I don't think any of us have been on any European streams. Have you, Jeff? No. I mean, I do watch them and stuff, and I definitely know there is some cross communication that happens between Americans and North Americans and Europeans and Australian, New Zealanders. But yeah, it hasn't happened to me yet as personally, but I mean, if anybody invited me, hint, hint, no. If anybody invited me to join a stream, I'd jump in. Why not?
Yeah, right? Sure.
Neil sounds like a sneaky Lego plot to get us to buy more Lego. Do we really need a plot to get us to buy more Lego? Come on. But yes,
we just need a new piece or a new minifigure.
Yeah, it's a way to get us into the Lego stores to buy bricks and pieces.
Yeah,
that's what that plot is for. Because they usually have basic brick there, and that's a good filler for your Mills plates. So there's also a train standard now, LGMS, I think it's called, or something. And it's it's done by the ILCO or the old ILCO International Lego Train Group. And they've got standards that are like setting the tables at a certain height. It always track was a certain length apart, but now they've modified it to be able to handle the larger radius curves that are available in the aftermarket and things like that.
Yeah.
So I haven't gotten into looking at that stuff, but I know that's as soon as you add larger radius curves to your train layout, it's no longer a 4x or a 6 base plate layout anymore to do a loop. It's what 10, 12 base plates to do a curve.
Yeah, but
in length.
What's bothering me with those high standards is that you're not getting new people in.
Yeah,
it's not for somebody starting in this hobby or starting to doing shows. It's not an encouragement if you have to invest like thousands and thousands of dollars to meet up with the standards of the community. So
yeah, for sure.
To me, it's kind of a.
Sorry, I was laughing at the name. We did not pay him to join the stream. He is a hoser, but we didn't pay him.
Gil, that's not your game room.
Just one sec.
Hey, Gil.
He comes in, but he's not ready.
No.
I really hate that people come up with standards to build by, Because it's like Yasuo said. It doesn't encourage people. It turns them away. Well, if you're going to build in this style, you need to have this, this, and this, and you need to have all these ducks in a row.
So
What?
But the reason why they created the standard is so that all the train groups can come together and build like an HO scale model type train layout, but only in Lego scale, right? So,
That's
I mean,
better.
the standard does make sense if you're going to do a big train show where you're bringing a couple of modules to
Yeah, I
plug
know.
into
It's
everybody else.
Yeah,
So-
but you could like do standards, but do them simply. I think the moon-based standards were by John Palmer. I think those were just enough standards that you could
Yeah.
build something, be part of the community, but didn't have to invest like thousands and thousands of dollars to be part of the community.
Yeah, it's true. And yeah, it was a good standard to start out with for sure. And it basically never went beyond that first. Well, I mean, there's probably a couple of iterations of it, but I mean, it's still the same standard today as it was probably about half a year after it was originally created.
Yeah.
Right. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of groups that are actually doing it anymore. I mean, I know Dave, you do, and I know Dave Cowdice has a few modular connections on his base, but yeah, Moonbase is something we definitely need to come back because it was fun.
There's one thing I suggested at one point was Moonbase, kind of sort of like it, but I don't know if you guys have seen that, either read the comic or seen the movie, the not so good movie, Mortal Engines.
It's on my list to watch. Nope.
Yeah.
Is it actually worth it?
No, it's kind of like a bad high school production.
That's why it's still on my list to watch.
Yeah. But the concept is cool, like these giant moving cities, right?
Mhm.
And I'd sort of suggested a while back to some of the other guys, it'd be cool to come up with a small standard for that, like whatever, 12 by 12, 16 by 6, 16, and then basically the undercarriage wheel thing. And then you build on top of that, and then you can link them together. Okay. So when you got together at like a fest, it would be awesome to link all these things together on the floor and see if you could move it as one giant city, right? Kind of like these things are. So yeah, I mean, when you have like collaborative stuff, then standards are required, right? You need them, but yeah, they're also too, they can be restricting, particularly when it's things that don't involve the connection points, like when people say like, well, you really shouldn't build it this tall, or you really shouldn't have anything underneath, or there shouldn't be like walk downs to the platform. It's kind of like, well, yeah, if it's not messing with the connection point, who cares? Right?
Yeah. Simpler is better.
Yeah.
You have connection points, all right. You have a standard, but about height, all right. But apart from that, you shouldn't like go too far as to say, well, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that. You need to do this.
Yeah.
Just putting people off, and it ultimately is gonna kill what you're building, because you're not gonna get new people in, and you're just gonna put people out.
Or it just becomes stagnant, right? Which is where it's like everything looks the same, and that's the worst part. Like, I mean, it's on a somewhat related note on like the photography stuff that I do. There's one site, there's one Facebook group that's huge. It's like widely known professionally and otherwise. But they really sort of edge more towards practical stuff. So no Photoshop, no After Effects. Okay. So for the longest time, there was gatekeepers there saying, this is the standard. Don't go anything outside of that. Otherwise, we'll either won't post it, or even if they did, it would kind of be shunned, right? And they finally started to say, okay, it's more important to foster creativity than to have a gatekeeper on the standard. And so now that they've done that, you get a wider variety of photos, some of them beautifully telling the story of the photo, because they're allowed to, again, push beyond. And like that's what I think is probably like, whether it's photography or building brick or whatever, you know, anything that's collaborative, or where if you're not collaborating on an actual project, you're combining and collaborating your efforts into one forum or to one point of presentation. And then, you know, but if it's too tight there, then it's dull. It's so boring.
That kind of reminds me of Brothers Brick, right?
Yes,
You
yeah,
couldn't
exactly.
post on Brothers Brick unless you had a picture that didn't have any background noise or didn't have
Right.
any, you know, like, so if I take a picture, like if I were to send in a picture of my back wall here, I'd have to do some major editing
Right.
to make it work. And it's like, some people just don't have the skills to do that. So it's
Right.
like, meh. I mean, I made some Brothers Brick once for my Royal York Hotel, and it was basically because I put up a drop sheet behind it, and they finally, at some point, it finally got picked up because whatever. But you know, it was like, okay, I made it, I'm good, see you, bye.
Yeah.
I mean, that took 10 years to get to that point, right? Like, so.
Yeah, that was a good example, because I'm at the very beginning, it was like, it was really regimented, like, you know, what they would post and what they wouldn't, and all this kind of stuff. And I understand too, you do want to have a certain level of quality in order to make the popularity of a site or a forum or whatever grow, right? There's definitely, you can't just have stuff that's, you know, thrown in there. But on the other hand too, you need to give space for people to grow. Like, they have to not come in looking like pros. Like they need that period where it's not so good, right? And they're able to like sort of improve as they go along, and to have people make suggestions how to do that, right? And again, you know, that's when you're back to this again, like for instance, like a moon base. Like I remember in the early days, there was some kids who were really big on it, because you know, they see the adults in the forums doing it and they're like, okay, this is great. But they would come in with something which was basically just like a bunch of plates and then the connector corridors, and that was it, you know. But these kids would show up and say like, you know, oh, I can't wait to join it, right? So you see some beautiful thing, you know, by Goddard or someone, right, who's made this like amazing looking thing right next to this, you know, sort of like rainbow base, right, that was just connected there. But it was endearing too, because like, you know, here's
mine.
And then one day little Jeff improved, and then it finally went well. So
this logo is from my original, or one of my original Classic Space or Moonbase modules.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think this was the roof on one of my buildings.
Yeah, but that's awesome though.
That's why I kept it. Yeah, granted.
That doesn't suck.
I mean, that's why I kept this one.
But Gil, you were talking about being like open-minded and collaborative. I think that's the big part of how to bring people in. See, I build Moonbase, but I build them on the standard Moonbase, but I build them on mills. So my Moonbase corridors end up being 2 bricks higher than the normal Moonbase. But when I do shows over here at Kellogg's, and I have a few members here who do actually build Moonbase modules, I have a specific module that adapts, and it goes down 2 bricks to connect with the others. So I have a standard for myself. So I build mills and I build Moonbase on mills, but I don't impose that standard on others, and I adapt so we can do a collaborative build together.
Right.
I'm sorry, did you say Kellogg's?
Yeah. Yeah.
K-Lug. QUE lug. Quebec slug.
But I was thinking cereal.
But yeah, but we pronounce it like it's the cereal thing.
Yeah, every time he says it, I want to have breakfast. But, you know, it is what it is. Dave, someone's asking, is that an Atari shirt?
No, that's actually my 5 Pew Pew shirt.
Oh, yeah.
We'll full screen you.
It was designed by Marc-André Caron after Jonathan Bussière, one of guys here responsible for organizing Bricomanie, a big show here, passed away just a month back. And Jonathan was actually with his brother. He will always used to tell us that he was with his brother. He used to take 3 bricks together, build a spaceship. 2x4s, build a spaceship, and they go pew 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 and attack each other. So basically, that's what the T-shirt says. It says pew pew on the bottom.
That's great.
Awesome.
So I got he actually made them available on Redbubble, so I automatically ordered one. So that's not an Atari shirt. That's my 5 pew pew shirt.
Cool.
Oh, that's cool.
For sure. Oh, I got a cough.
Still that cold, Jeff?
Yeah. It feels like it's gotten worse again in the past few days. Just the cough's back. It might just be because I'm streaming and talking a bit more in the past few days. Like I've been in some meetings as well, so my throat's just raw. But Jeff just lost a thumb. I'm joking. He's still there, I think. Anyway.
By the way, Jeff, I tell you, there's nothing funnier than that picture. No, of Jeff Malakwi, of that picture of you during that fest. You were just at Brick Road or whatever. the 5 of you guys crammed in your car. You look like Shriners. Like it was hilarious, man. Oh, it was so funny.
It's funny because I have a Santa Fe. I have like a crossover SUV.
Right.
But Julian and I have to put the front seats all the way back or we can't fit in the front. So we had Moto, who's kind of tall. We had my friend Don, who's very short. And then we had Phoenix, who is a big boy, but short. Yeah. And like, oh, dude, it was bad.
But Moto,
not good.
Moto looks like he's shoehorned in there.
Oh, he was. He literally was.
Yeah.
He had to drive like 45 minutes, and I was like, man, I'm mad about this. But on the other hand,
yeah, but I mean, well, I would say that aside, but that looked like a good time, and so did the rest. So
yeah.
So I have our game on USB drives.
Oh.
I've just been really lazy, and I've just been kind of shit.
Is that the picture?
All right, it's gone. Sorry, Jeff.
Jeff, did you have any luggage in there and in your box? So it was all cramped up.
It was all in the back, so we were good-ish. For some reason, I still have a toaster oven in my cargo bay of my car. I'm not sure why it's still there. I'm just really lazy, I think. So, like, when we were packing up, we were like, we should probably move this before we pack. Yeah, good idea. No, that thing went to Texas.
And so you say your game, you're talking about the laser tag game.
Yeah.
No. So there's this thing called Zero Latency, which is a virtual reality arena. So they put the rig on you, right? That's all a computer that you're wearing. You're wearing a portable computer.
Oh, I got you.
And you have your VR goggles and your headphones, so you can talk to people and you're picked up on the whatever.
Right.
The problem that we ran into is that Julian was going woo every 2 minutes and blew out the speakers of all of our headphones. So when I post this thing, it's going to be like, what the hell is even going on? But so the scenario was hold off defend an area against zombie attack. And it was a lot of fun. Moto was there with us, and he got super recognized by a super fan. So
cool.
We got another game for free out of it. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I got to share the picture again because I just saw Moto's face.
I know. It's like this look of like nervousness and
what did I get into?
Oh, it makes me laugh.
If you scroll further through it, Jeff, you'll see the aftermath of us killing zombies.
But in case of an accident, Moto was like really, really protected.
Oh yeah.
He had like 5 airbags already on him.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was an interesting car ride, and all I could think to myself was, "Thank God I'm driving."
There you go.
There you go. So all that. So the guns are controllers, right?
Right.
You could switch between weapons you're using. You had infinite ammo, all that stuff, and it was just a stupid fun time.
That would be fun. Yeah.
How big was the actual room?
The room was like the size of, I think it was like 3,300 square feet.
Okay.
So pretty big, right? Like,
yeah.
You know,
So I guess then there's no real danger of you guys running into one another because your virtual position in the game is your physical position in the room, right?
Yeah, you'd fucking think that, right? But we had like proximity radar of like where we are and like where everyone was, and like no matter what, I'd hear "woo," and then Julian would bump into me and be like, "Dude, the alarm's going on!" Like, "Woo, woo," and just like keep on going.
Yeah, that would be hilarious. That would be totally hilarious.
It was expensive, but it was that was, instead of going out to a nice dinner, we did that, and that was far more enjoyable than overpaying for a steak.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and I mean, it gets you away from the convention for a while. You can kind of just get away from Lego because sometimes you need that during a convention, right? Like, what did you? Was it on the Friday you went, or during the public time?
It was Friday that we went.
Friday, okay.
But the thing about it is that Steve Jackson was there. I didn't know that Steve Jackson was big into Lego, like at all. But no, he's a super Lego nerd. And his nephew Brandon was running his vendor stall, full of like sealed classic Lego sets from like mid '90s and above.
Wow.
So I was that guy and was like, "Oh look, my childhood. Oh look, I don't really give into nostalgia that much, but I did some things."
You spent some money, Jeff?
Yeah, see that set is awesome. It is so awesome.
Oh yeah,
those doors.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah.
Nice. It looks brand new. It looks brand new. Like
it's all sealed up.
Wow.
There's barely any wear on the boxes. Like I almost feel bad for like wanting to.
Like it just came out of the factory, so
it still has the Sears sticker with the price tag in the corner.
So are you gonna resell those or no?
Those are mine.
Okay, good.
Those are mine.
Good, yeah, because that would be a shame to resell, honestly.
I got like 4 things for myself. I spent somewhere around $600 total.
Right.
And the 4 things that I got for myself, I'm keeping, of course, it was those 2 sets, the Adventurer's balloon.
Yeah, that's cool. You showed me that. That's amazing.
For days.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the boat, the party boat, the 3-in-1 white party boat.
Right.
And I was like, okay, these are mine. Everything else is being resold, but yeah, it was a really good time. Steve Jackson signed a copy of Munchkin for me.
Okay, so you'll have to, being an old guy, you'll have to remind me who Steve Jackson is. I assume he's the creator of the game.
Yeah, he's the creator of Munchkin.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, and his was super cool, like super cool. It was just a nice time all around. I mean, I was done, after a while. Like we hit a point, and I was like, well, okay, but we still had a day of shows left, and I was like, don't kill anybody, you'll be fine. Don't kill anybody.
Yeah, you do kind of get that sometimes. You get,
but Jeff, was it the public in general, or was it the other AFOs attending the convention?
So we had these smallest sets, like smallest mocks there. Everybody else had the display plus or whatever. Okay, and that didn't bother me. Because I was like, yeah, I know this was going to happen. We didn't go all out. The problem that I had was that I had Mark and Steven to the right of me, the 2 Lego Masters from Season 2. I had Moto across the way from us, and people were just on public day. And
Right.
like, meanwhile, I, who suffer from social anxiety and all that, and you know, I'm kind of the leader of our pack we've got going on. I'm like, okay, this is fine. Don't worry. Lots of people. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
You're fine. It's just a crowded place in Texas. Uh-huh. When was the last thing something bad happened in Texas? Been a while. We're doing one. So, like,
so you're making up scenarios in your head right now.
That's part of my PTSD.
Yeah, of course.
All that shit.
That's part of the anxiety thing. So
yeah. So that happened.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, as Canadians, we're like 50% convinced that any trip we get to the U.S. is going to end up in some sort of Tarantino shootout. Mm-hmm. So it's not. Don't really feel that you're out on a limb there, thinking that way. So, yeah.
Most of us are wearing life jackets.
Life jackets. Yeah, that's why we're Canadians, because we wear life jackets, thinking it's gonna be some sort of protection.
I mean, it was
but Jeff, I'm wondering if you would have been better located in like a small or lesser crowded part of the room. Would it have been?
That's the funny thing, is that I had one mock in the pop culture room, which was across the way. It was my dinky little sewer surfing Ninja Turtle one.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, if stuff goes south, I'm going to hang out over there. No problems for me. You know, and like Howie's over there. I can go say hi to Howie. He's got his lamps on display. Great. And then somebody was like, hey, here's my 1/12 replica build of the bus from S.H.I.E.L.D. Oh. Hey, here's my 7-foot build of
we're all out of batteries for all the controllers.
And also, here's my layout of Hill Valley. So there was just people everywhere, and I was like, well, okay. My favorite part of the convention was hanging out in the Arboretum, smoking in the non-section zone, and then just keep on keeping on. But otherwise, it was fine. Brick Fair, Alabama is going to be 100% different, mostly because of the size and scale that we're bringing with us. So,
yeah.
And then people, like, I thought you guys were full of shit when you were like, people are going to ask you how long did it take you to build, how many parts are made out of it. But when people would stop and like look at like the Ice Planet stuff, got a lot of attention. The redo of Ice Planet I did.
Mm-hmm. Because it was
every third or second person was that question, and I was like, oh, well, I came up with.
I think that's on Dave's side. I'll just mute him.
Yeah, it's my side. Sorry.
So like came up with the system of both of these things are under 400 parts. They took me 2 hours to build because I was bored. And they're like, oh. I was like, yeah, it's not that great a story. But if you look over there, that's Mark and Steven's thing that lights up and blows smoke. Go talk to them.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, being anywhere near the Lego Masters at this point is just like probably for the next year, those guys are going to always have a crowd around them at least, right? Until the next round of Lego Masters starts, and then those people will have the crowd. But
and also,
go ahead, Jeff.
Sorry, I was going to say, and also to tell you the truth, like after the last 16 months of basically everyone avoiding crowds, suddenly being back in a crowd is really unnerving, severely unnerving. So, yeah.
Yeah, you're at the very first convention, really, that's happening anywhere in North America, like Lego convention wise. So I mean, like I can't imagine what Virginia is going to be like this weekend with Brick Fair there. I would probably have a freak out myself. I think, just if the crowds were really huge.
But Jeff, I totally sympathize with you. It probably wasn't a great experience for that particular moment.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. But
you know what's also kind of Go
yeah.
go ahead.
I had my friends there, and they know the warning signs. Like, when my hand starts doing this, you got to get me the fuck out of there, or we're gonna have a problem. Like, this is
Yeah.
a trigger
Yeah.
of, and
Yeah.
Don recognized that a couple of times and was like, "Hey, let's go smoke," and I was like, "Hey, sounds good." I think so. I don't think Emily can hear me, but my first night of the public shows, I was a mess, and I broke 5 years of sobriety and had a beer, and was like, "This is nice," and that was it. And I was right as rain afterwards, but I feel bad that I did that. But on the other hand, it calmed me down, and
Yeah.
I didn't have any pot, so
Yeah.
But you had one, so
Yeah.
that's a win there.
And it's American, so it's basically water anyhow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a Bud Light.
Yeah, it's basically water.
And
Here's
it's also kind of funny too. I find that, when you get the conventions, and particularly on the public day where you get a lot of questions, a lot of people come through. Lego, for the most part, is a hobby that is, been attractive forever for people who really don't enjoy a lot of big crowds, right? And they're kind of into their own thing.
You're,
Like, I'm
you're right on
definitely-
the money there, Gil.
Yeah.
You're right on the money.
So you get this kind of like
People
opposite-
coming out of their basement with their Lego.
right,
That's-
right, and you get this opposite, kind of thing, right? And that's I mean, even though like I'm, like most Lego people, I'm an introvert, because introvert doesn't mean you're shy. It just means that you basically find peace in doing stuff, by yourself, for yourself.
Yeah.
And I'm good in crowds, good in public speaking, good the whole thing. However, similar to Jeff, maybe not quite as an extreme, is that when I hit the limit, that's it. Like, I mean, I'm out of there. And and the one Lego convention that I've been to, a good buddy of mine who is also a lot like that too. We'd be down there on the floor on the public day. We'd be there about an hour or so.
Mm-hmm.
And then we both kind of look one another and say, time to get the hell out of here for about an hour. Yep. And then we'd be gone. Right.
Yeah.
And just because I couldn't do it, I couldn't be just in there and on.
You need to take a break. You need to take a break every once in a while. I know that personally, I like to be on the floor. I like to interact with visitors, but I get where Jeff is coming from, and I really sympathize with him, because after a show, I usually don't want to talk to anyone.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to anyone, even if it's my kids, my wife. I don't want to talk to anymore. I just want to eat a big pizza and just lay on the couch and watch TV and put my brain on off, because it's just too much. And like I said, I like people. I like spending time on the floor. I usually don't take a lot of breaks during public days, because I like to be near my display. I like to answer questions. I like to interact with the visitors. But after a show, don't talk to me. And Jeff can attend to that, because he's been here in Montreal a few times, and after the show we went to eat dinner, and I wasn't the one who was talking.
Yeah, it's and I mean, like when we were doing BrickFet every year, you'd have the group of people that would be like, "What time does public time start?" And you tell them, and they'll be like, "Okay, we'll see you later."
Yeah.
And they walk away, and they come back after public time is over.
Yeah.
And that's totally cool, right? It's just I mean, some people would take their families on that day and go do the tourist attractions in the city or whatever. Because I mean, they don't necessarily want to be there, or they want to spend time with their families as well, or whatever, right? But I mean, you have your limits, and you just stick with that. And
totally.
And I think that as show organizers, they need to recognize that some people don't don't want to be there on public days. They don't mind putting their mocks up. But they don't want to be there, and don't want to interact with the public, and they don't want to answer questions. So why force them to be there next? Just let them go, let them do their stuff, and
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
We got Fazum and Blue have joined in the past few minutes. Hey guys.
Right back.
Yeah. Fazum, this technically isn't on your channel, so you're safe, but there have been some swear words.
What are you fucking talking about?
Anyway,
it,
but you know,
it wasn't.
it's all good.
It wasn't for me. It wasn't in French, so
It's okay. It's not Old GrEH Bricks. It's Old GrEH Bricks.
GrEH Bricks.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, we finally completed our destiny and taken over the continent. So, except for Jeff, who we've sort of just, Jeff McElwee sort of like taken as like some sort of hostage.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
We're making them build Lego for us.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Gil, I wanted to show you this.
Ooh. Which one is that?
Justice
The
League
Wonder Woman.
Yeah, but
Even I knew that.
did they just repaint?
No, it's all metallic on her armor now,
Oh.
and it's Gal Gadot's face sculpt.
Have you? Sorry, guys, for the
right.
figure talk. Have you ever seen the 1984 one, the first one that came out? Have you ever seen that repainted by someone who knows what they're doing?
No,
Dude, it's Gal Gadot. It's perfect. Like, it's amazing. The sculpt is so good, but it's just that the paint is so crap. In that first one, she looks like a blow-up doll. Like, it looks ridiculous, right? But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that could be the same sculpt, or based off it or whatever.
I really want to find Black Suit Superman. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
So,
there's
while I was-
there's a few coming out. I wanted to get some of the new Suicide Squad ones, but I haven't seen yet. Especially I'd love to get King Shark, but I'm not buying the whole wave just for that. So, yeah.
While I was walking away, I heard the words Gal Gadot and blow up doll. And
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not talking about a new product that's launching.
we'll talk afterwards. Not just joking. Oh yeah. Well, look at my figure, man.
Nice.
The best figures ever. Although their arms are falling off these days. But anyway.
Whenever I see those now, I always think of like Brian, when he had one like a million streams ago, he had to do like the Dob thing or whatever, right? And it's like for some reason it's the only Lego figure that can manage that ridiculous pose.
Yeah, I don't even know how to pose them, but that way. But
the next time that you guys see Kirk Wilson or talk to him anywhere, make sure you give him a large amount of hell because he spent almost $100 on Galador.
I saw those pictures.
He bought the Ecto one and the DeLorean for like $250 total for both, which is a heck of a deal.
Yeah.
My buddy Joe down at the show in Texas, he picked up the DeLorean he picked up the Ecto one with the minifigures for 50 bones. So that's not bad. That's
not too bad.
Really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think probably that Ecto one, the UCS version, whatever, has to be outside of the Falcon, the big Falcon, has to be the most prolific thing that shows up on those crappy Wish ads than anything else.
Yeah,
like that's like all the time I see it on that thing, and of course, God knows you order that thing and you get like a pair of sunglasses or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, about in relation to that, so you know how the Ecto one came out for Plasma series, right? For Hasbro,
Yeah.
and wasn't figure compliant whatsoever.
Yeah.
The Lego UCS Ecto one is.
Oh, really?
The plasma figures fit in there perfectly, and I was like, well, I didn't really want one, but now,
Yeah, now it's
Interesting.
a fortune. Yeah.
But I also bought the Kenner re-release of the Real Ghostbusters Ecto one, and my parents brought up my Firehouse from my childhood. So
I've seen this one guy who's actually done a repaint of the. Who made the original? Was it Kenner?
Kenner.
Made the original.
Kenner.
They've made a repaint of that, and then they've added on some like they did a 3D print of the ecto containment unit. They did all this other stuff. It looks amazing. Like it's so cool. But I've seen people do that a lot with like the older stuff, like Castle Grayskulls and whatever. They'll like take some crappy old version they find, which is still worth a king's ransom, and they'll repaint the thing, and it looks amazing. But
Hey, speaking of He-Man, briefly, did anybody else watch He-Man Revelations?
I did.
What'd you think?
Well, I haven't seen it yet.
It's like I know there's a lot of hate out there for it in most of like the fandom and stuff, but honestly, like the story was pretty good. I thought the plot was pretty good. I thought that the voice acting for the most part was pretty decent. Definitely better than any of the other current reboots. But some of the modernization of characters was a little heavy-handed, like it normally is. But overall, I thought it was a pretty decent show. Like I wasn't upset about it at all. So yeah. You?
It was entertaining. I was never really into He-Man when I was a kid. Like, I watched the cartoon because I watched the cartoon, but I wasn't like, He-Man is the best ever,
Same as me. Yeah.
But I watched it and I went, well, this isn't bad. The plot's a little, obviously X, Y, and Z are going to happen. Oh, look, X, Y, and Z have happened. And stuff like that, but like, I don't know. It wasn't great. It wasn't lackluster. It was just, a new He-Man cartoon.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And I mean, like all like the 45-year-old guys who are all like up in arms because of, it's not the thing they grew up with it. I'm like, well, dude, because it's like 40 years later, man. It's not going to be the same thing.
Yeah, we're trying to remember to watch that, and now that you guys talked about it, I'll try and get it going this weekend.
Yeah.
So, did the whole season drop, or?
It's one of those things where they call it a season, but it's really half of a season.
Oh, it's like part one type, like 5 episodes or something like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least it's better. The one nice thing is that show used ACTA, the union, the actors union. So the talent behind the show was kind of top grade.
Yeah.
But it's not like there's the Transformers one, which for whatever reason they decided to go non-union. So all of everyone from the voice actors to the director to this, they're all like third stringers, and that's why it's so bad. Like it's pretty terrible.
It's Kevin Smith's show, right? Like he's the guy that started it.
He is, and that's obviously why it's a union show, because he's a director and everyone else, right? But I just found it was really funny that you've always seen like films before who try to sort of get around using union people, and you're kind of like pretty lousy. But then apparently it extends very handily to animation too. That if you don't use the union people, it's really like a mixed bag. So, but it's the one thing is weird is like they had a Ron Perlman who's in the next season that's coming up tomorrow, I guess. And I guess he's not union, which is kind of shocking. So, I guess I don't know.
Oh, Kingdom? Are you guys talking about Kingdom?
Kingdom, yeah.
It came out today.
Is it today? I thought it was tomorrow.
Yeah, I watched all of it today.
Oh, you did? And? Any better?
I didn't have a problem with the first 2 seasons. It got a little long-winded in the second season.
Bored.
But But like the animation, I didn't have a problem with. The voice acting wasn't horrible.
See you, Dave.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
And I liked the twist that they did with the Maximals. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have an issue with the Beast Wars stuff because I never watched it. I only watched a handful as a kid.
You're
But I
talking about
can see-
Transformers.
Yeah.
I just clued in.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
But yeah, I can see why why people don't like it. But I mean, the Beast Wars thing back in the day definitely had the best writing. Even I wasn't much for the animal stuff, but the writing was good. But yeah, the last 2 seasons of the Transformers thing, I'm kind of like, it's fine, it's okay, but there's certain parts of it which I just found like, honestly, I can't get over the voice acting of the principal actors because everything has dramatic pauses.
Oh, Shatner wrote it?
Everything. Yes.
yes,
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. So it's just, I'm just like, you're like, have dramatic pause. Like you're waiting for them to just spit it out, man.
Can't you just speed it up to double time and then it would be almost normal?
People do that. They do speed it up. Yeah.
I got to scoot. I promised my wife that I'd be done by 7:30. It's 7:30. Good night,
We're gonna
everybody.
end the stream anyhow, I
See you,
think.
Jeff.
See you, Jeff. And see everybody else. We'll end the stream here and
Yeah.
call it
I
a
gotta
night.
run
So.
too.
Yeah.
So anyway.